Thanks for tuning in to the Urban Scope podcast. I'm back with more NBA news. And of course, I'll be talking about the greatness and the legacy of Russell Westbrook. Now, Russell Westbrook, of course, he's the best rebounding guard, point guard of all time, and maybe guard of all time, other than if you want to consider like an Oscar Robertson type. But of the modern era, Russell Westbrook is the greatest rebounding point guard of all time, or guard of all time, because most people consider him a two. But of course, he developed his passing skills and commanded the offense a lot better as he got further along in his career. But he's definitely the most exciting player of this era to watch. Now, if you want to say a LeBron, that's a different type of thing. But as far as fast pace, ability, his drive, his mentality. Westbrook is different. He was the Kobe of this era, just because of his sheer ability and mentality, and his ability just to never give up, to keep going at, be competitive and keep going at the players he was going against. And it seemed like he never backed down, regardless if he knew he had all these deficiencies that these other players didn't have. That never stopped his drive, and it's never stopped his will to try to win. Um, the pace he played at was phenomenal, going 100 miles per hour, just being relentless. His dedication was unmatched, and he was very durable as well. I don't remember too many injuries. I know one year he had the meniscus injury, I want to say, but other than that, for the most part, he's been very durable and he's very athletic. And I'll talk about that in a little while about his athleticism, but his rebounding ability is what his legacy will be remembered for, because he got rebounds when nobody else was willing to get those rebounds. Standing at 6'3", being able to go against 6'10" and 7-foot defenders for rebounds, he was able to get those rebounds, whether it be offensively or defensively. And then he had the ability to push the basketball up the floor at a high pace to get a fast break on the other end. So his ability and just the stamina that he had to be able to keep up past players, pause, was phenomenal as well. Because we never seen him really get tired. We never seen him just lay down on the ground, get fatigued. So he was in supreme shape as well. So for him to be able to have that athleticism, durability, the stamina, the fortitude, he had everything except for the shooting. Now the shooting never came there because, of course, God can't give us everything. But he was efficient enough to win an MVP, to be top 75, to be revered as one of the best point guards, the shooting guards, whatever you want to call them, combo guards ever. So his sure will is in that same realm. And then in OKC, the year after, or the years after Kevin Durant left, and then the the Washington Wizard years was his most exciting years, because he could be his true self. He can run the court. He can do things like that. He had total command of the offense and the team. But once he got to, places like Houston, and he got to the Clippers, and then of course when he got to Denver, he had to adjust and play a backseat role to the stars, to the Kawhi Leonards, the Paul Georges, the uh, Nikola Jokic's. So and James Harden, he had to take the backseat, but he was willing to do so, and he checked his ego at the door, which was so commendable, because a lot of stars don't do that. Um, but it just shows you his ability to be a teammate. And he faces a lot of scrutiny, because a lot of people say he's selfish and he's just grabbing rebounds and he's just grabbing assists to get these triple doubles, which he is the leader in the triple doubles, over Magic Johnson right now. He has over 200 triple doubles, but nevertheless, what he did helped his team, and it was to help his team, and he put his body on this line for his team. So it was unfair criticism that he always got, just for them saying that he was selfish. But if he put his body on the line and was able to get his team involved, even if he was trying to be selfish, he wasn't being selfish. He was being unselfishly selfish, I guess, if you want to phrase it that way. But nevertheless, I always thought he got unfair criticism from media pundits and analysts, just for his style of play, because we had never seen anyone really play to that style that he had. Other than a Derrick Rose, of course. Derrick Rose, his career got cut short to injury just because of, the style that he played that most people believe he played so fast. He played like a running back on the basketball court. The contact that he faced and the high jumping ability at such a high clip eventually took a toll on his knees. Um, but fortunately, it never happened to Westbrook. But at the same time, he played such a rapid pace. And I compare Angel Reese's rebounding to a Westbrook's. They are around the same height, actually. Um, but their rebounding ability, they both undersized and can rebound at a high clip, especially well, more so Westbrook because he has to face 7 footers. Angel Reese doesn't. She has to face like 6'7" and 6'8", at the most 6'6". But she's still undersized and still go get those rebounds and can position herself in ways to get these rebounds and just the wheel of trying to get it every night. And recently, Angel Reese has been playing like Westbrook because she takes the rebound and she brings the ball up the court sometimes, and the offense runs through her, which is best suited for their offense and their team. But nevertheless, they do have a lot of comparisons, um, not in athleticism or anything like that, but just their rebounding ability and their ability to be everything for their teams. Of course, Angel Reese is not durable as Westbrook, but Westbrook is built a lot different, of course. But nevertheless, um, just to think about the guy that Westbrook is, I think if he had improved or if his shooting percentage was maybe 5 or 10% higher, he'd be seen in a whole nother regard. Because a lot of people don't see him as efficient because he was only shooting around 42% from the field from his career. And he was shooting a lot of jump shots, so that didn't help as well. But I think a lot of that came out of necessity because after Durant left, he really didn't have a team around him and he was everything. So he had to try crazy shots. He had to, force shots when he didn't need to because he had other people around him that wasn't really known as shooters. He had a bunch of defenders around him for a couple of those years that was offensively challenged, and he was to some degree offensively challenged. So he had to take the responsibility for the team and put forth an effort the best way he could, and sometimes that ended up in a lot of empty shots and a lot of bad shots that didn't go in. Um, but I think when you talk about the top 5 point guard discussion, now most people have Magic Johnson, John Stockton, Jason Kidd, Isaiah Thomas, Steph Curry, uh, Jerry West, Chris Paul, Oscar Robinson. Either one of those guys are usually in the top 5 in your discussion. But my top 5, of course, is Magic Johnson, just from his ability to be 6'9" and control the offense, his fancy passing, first point, pass first point guard. Changed the game and changed the NBA as we know it. Of course, you have to put Magic in your top 5 point guards. John Stockton, of course, his ability to pass, um, having the all-time assist record. Jason Kidd, the way he could defend and pass and command an offense. Chris Paul, same thing with him, his ability to pass and score as well. Steph Curry, his ability to shoot and pass, and the way he changed the game as well. So I have those in my top 5. And he's Russell Westbrook is in my top 10 because he learned how to be a point guard later in his career. But for the most part, he was a shoot first and he shot a lot. So my top 5 is other than Steph Curry, are pure pass first point guards. Um, and natural passes as well, because Westbrook wasn't a natural passer. He was a, a drive and drop off kind of passer. But I always felt that he deserved a lot more love than he got. Unfortunately, he never did. But once he leaves the game, I'm pretty sure he'll get more respect when the younger players behind him see they grew up loving his game because the older players and older pundits didn't respect it because they're so used to game being one way. But the game it has evolved to this, so a lot more players coming up will respect it, and pundits and analysts and people like that will respect his game more and give him more respect and claim that he received. But I think he will He is top 75, but I do believe he will be in this era. He has to be top 20, top 30. But that's a discussion for a later day. And as always, until next time, I'll see you next time.